You stay playing to your strengths and he stays playing to his strengths. How do you ensure that always goes down the line?
Just being honest with each other, really everything's on the table. How do we sort that solution out? The shit find the shit and the good find the good. And it's so true, like the good people find the good people and the shit people find the shit people.
Yes, there is an element of friendship and trust, but at the end of the day, you're running a PTY Ltd. You're not running a non-for-profit organisation.
No.
Right? And this is where my ethos of turning passion to profit always comes through.
As long as I'm delivering a beautiful product and it's quality, then this friendship and the ecosystem of hospitality looks after it.
If you can make money out of your passion, you're never working a day in your life.
Yeah, true.
How do you maintain profitable? How do you maintain successful? In this episode of the Hospo Dojo podcast, I sit down with Sam Gordon. Sam grew up in his family business, Robert Gordon Pottery, which became a global name in retail and hospitality. After more than 20 years there, he stepped away to get back on the wheel, making custom plates for top Australian restaurants like Nomad, Stokehouse, and Josh Niland's venues, as well as international projects including Louis Vuitton in Mexico. We chat about leaving your family business, creating sustainable designs for hospitality, and his new venture building Handcrafted pottery in Vietnam. So we got Mr. Sam Gordon here. First of all, thank you for inviting us to your friend's venue. This is beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Hey?
Friends in high places.
Hey, how do you pronounce the name of this venue?
Rain and LaRue.
LaRue.
Yeah, LaRue.
Okay.
Sorry, I always struggle with it too. Yeah.
And they're the same guys that own Nomad, right?
Yeah, Nomad. Yeah. Jackie is a legend, so I work closely with Jackie on some projects, but good friend. Yeah.
Beautiful. And, I would have loved to film this in your studio, but unfortunately timing and everything. So you blessed us with this space. So thank you.
No, it's nice. It's substantially bigger than my studio. So the studio's in Gembrook and it overlooks the state forest, but it's home.
How long have you been there?
We've lived there for 8 years, and I built the studio 2 years ago. Okay. Yeah, so it's a design lab. It's where I make small runs of crockery for people, and it's lovely.
Yeah, Mr. Sam Gordon, or Potter Sam Gordon, as I like to call you. Give us a bit of a rundown on you. From what I know, you're a third generation potter. Yep. What does that entail?
So my grandparents had a pottery called Dyson Studios, and then my parents worked for them. So my dad, sorry, can I is that all right? I always struggle with
that's okay.
Yeah, no, that's right. Sorry. So third generation potter. My grandparents had Dyson Studios, and then my dad worked for them when he was a kid. And then in the 1979 started Robert Gordon Pottery, and so we all grew up. I've got a brother and two sisters, and we all went into the company. I was there for 20 years. It was great fun, and then I just wanted to get back to the grassroots of jumping on a pottery wheel and doing that. I just felt a great need to get back on the wheel. Yeah.
Right. So Robert Gordon obviously got built up to a juggernaut that's in retail, hospitality,
architectural items. Yeah.
And it's an internationally acclaimed.
Yeah, it's global. Yeah, it's global. When I was there, I was traveling up to 6 months of the year. I was doing China, America, Europe trade shows. It was just huge. It's a big business. It's great. And every success to them, it's amazing. Yeah.
And you decided to take the step out. Was that how many years ago was that now?
2.5. Yeah. It was a big move. Family business is hard. I was there for over 20 years and 20 fun years. It just, I just felt a need to do something on my own. Yeah.
And opening Sam Gordon Pottery, what's your ethos there?
It sounds really silly, but it was always Carrie, my wife, who I work with, who also joined the company. We just want to make plates for mates. It's just I love hospo and I love the ecosystem and the camaraderie and venues like this. So we're just bespoke crockery for the best restaurants.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you only focus in on hospitality?
Yeah, I'm only doing hospo. Retail, I've spent so much time in retail and it kills me. You got to run really hard. You can have a range of crockery in hospitality, which will be around for 20 years. no problem. The same design, and it'll sit there and it'll be sustainable. It's lovely. Retail, you got to do seasonal designs. You got to do 4 designs a year, and then they slash and burn 25% off, 50% off. It just kills your brand, and you'll have a beautiful design there, but they'll just trash it.
And do you find that do we have a lot of feedback? It's all right. Yeah. Do you find that being in hospitality lets you have that creative freedom more so than retail?
Yeah. For me, it's more substance, like it's more real. It feels more real. You're not designing something knowing that next season it's going to be in the bin regardless because they want newness. They talk about newness, and it's like such a catchphrase which just killed me because you can have a beautiful product. Sorry, Sammy, it's we've got to go on to spring, summer now. That's 25% off. You're like, fuck, like what are you doing that for? Yeah. Whereas in hospitality, everyone talks about sustainability, but to me, sustainability is having a design that lasts and production that lasts. And whereas in retail, it's not like that anymore. Yeah.
And did you find that, touching on your retail experience, you guys obviously grew, so you and the siblings grew the business, I'd say.
Yeah. Dad left Dad retired out and Mum retired out when I left too. So they were very hands-on during that period. So it was a true family business. Mum, Dad, Hannah, Kate, Bobby, and myself. I'm the youngest of the 4. Yeah.
And did you find that with the pressures of the retail space, what was, sorry, I'll rephrase that. In retail, there's obviously significant pressures.
Yep.
What was the biggest pressure of all?
Coming out with new designs all the time and managing that stock. It's big. It's a big business. You got to land that stock, warehouse it, distribute it. And always new designs.
And as a humble potter, how did you manage to learn that business side?
So when I first joined the company, I was 19 and I left. I got out of high school. I got not bad marks, and I thought I'd go and study commerce. And I got 2 years in the commerce and I bombed out. It was terrible. I was failing, and Dad goes, "You better come back to the pottery." So I went back to the pottery and I worked on the factory floor. And I was there for 10 years and I was factory manager and things like that, and I loved it. So every day I was getting my hands dirty and knowing how to make pottery. And then for the other 10 years I was a sales manager. So traveling around selling. I just loved it. And that's hands-on. We didn't have a lot of pottery wheels, or none then. So Dad got rid of most of the wheels late 80s, but I always had one in the back room and I'd muck around on a pottery wheel, knowing there's something about making something with your hands and that energy in the piece when you give it to someone is nothing like a machine made. It's nothing like buying off the shelf. It's chefs understand that, and I just felt a need to get back on the wheel.
And with pottery being such a passionate project, transitioning from such a big business of Robert Gordon, who's such a well-respected brand in the industry, to going out and starting your own organisation in a hyper niche field of hospitality, have you been able to continually run a successful business while maintaining your passion?
Oh, good question. I don't know if it's successful. It's successful.
Look, when I mean successful, you've got a great personal brand.
Yeah,
and that's something that you built over 20 years. It's not something that was built yesterday. But I guess where I can relate is when you're going through a transitional period of moving from being a big cog in a wheel to going out as your own personal brand and standing on your own 2 feet. It really sets a test to you as an individual to say, okay, what is my self-worth? What is my value? And when you're I'm passionate about designing kitchens. I froth over designing kitchens. That's good. Something that I do every single day, and I actually love it. And it's something that the way that you make something with your hands for a plate, the way that I design in 4 walls, and then off that little drawing, an entire space gets built for people to come and enjoy and sit and eat, and people have been able to work in that space and be safe. Right? For me, I've achieved so much. So this is where I come back to that question. It's when you're so passionate about things, we burn a lot of hours.
Yeah.
We burn a lot of time. Yeah. How do you maintain, profitable? How do you maintain successful?
I knew I had to go back, and I knew it was going to be a long slog, and making things off the pottery wheel is hard. It's physically hard, and also restaurants, like if you sell a $35 plate and it breaks in the kitchen, they made no money. Like it's bad. So I knew that there's a cap on pricing. I knew all that stuff. I've had to, I've got a small studio where I design for probably about 10 customers around Australia. So Josh Niland, Stokehouse, these guys, but outside of that, I also design and develop for companies overseas.
Okay.
And we're working on a couple of projects in Vietnam, which is really exciting too.
So you currently run your studio to operate for do you cap yourself at clients? Are you open to business?
Yeah, 100%. Cap myself at clients. And if I don't know them out of my studio, this is my handmade things, I just don't take the order. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how many clients do you have?
Probably, I'd say 10 tops.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then in the background of that, you're consulting other larger organisations?
Yeah, not only that, I've got a partnership with a man called Harry. Sorry, with a man. I didn't want to say that.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. No, I've got a business partnership with Harry Poronitis, who has a company called Bambus, and together we're building a pottery in Vietnam.
Wow.
Yeah. And
you're going to be producing handcrafted pottery in Vietnam?
Yeah, it's a dream. So it's been going on for 18 months. So I've been going back and forth. I've kept the lid on it. I haven't told a lot of people about it, but it's because sometimes the dream's so big that I don't want to tell people about it, because if it fails or something like that, I'm really nervous about it. But we're at a stage now where I can start talking about it. But we've got about 30 workers there, all being retrained on how to make on the pottery wheel. So when I went over there, the opportunity existed with a company called Vietnam Housewares. It's going to get a little bit complicated, but Vietnam Housewares supply most of the world with terracotta pots, garden pots and things like that. And they wanted one of their potteries to be tabletop. So we've gone over there and consulted and bought into the program, retrained staff, and they're making tableware on pottery wheel. So this will be a commercial pottery, but all made on the pottery wheel.
Wow.
So retraining 20, 30 staff, and that's always growing too. So it's amazing.
That's amazing. So you've been able not just grow, but you're staying true to your roots.
Yeah.
Make good plates for mates. Is that?
Plates for mates. Plates for a lot of mates. Yeah, that's what I want. No, making on the pottery wheel was just, it's not an opportunity. I didn't see it as an opportunity. I just saw it true to what we want, and Harry too. And Harry's good at making sure and keeping me under pace and making sure that everything gets done properly and things like that. You realise when you join a partnership that, certain people bring, you've got to be true to what I bring, and I bring the skill and the expertise about training staff and getting on the ground, and Harry's guiding me through the business opportunities around that and making sure it's right to market.
And how important was it? You've had this dream for a while.
Yeah, a long time, yeah.
So how important is it to you selecting that right partner? How did you even go about that?
Well, Harry in the market was essentially a competitor. He has one of his brands is Salt and Pepper. It's a beautiful homewares brand, and he's always loved hospitality, and we've got mutual friends. And we sat down and had a long lunch, and we spoke about joining forces, and it's been great.
Wow. Yeah. Yep. And in that, how do you ensure that your strengths and your weaknesses are, you stay playing to your strengths and he stays playing to his strengths? How do you ensure that always goes down the line? Because I know in some partnerships, weight gets pushed around at some cases, and that could really throw a spanner in the works towards a project like this. Yeah. How do you guys as a team ensure that doesn't happen?
Look, great question. It takes a little bit of time. We've been, as a partnership, we've been together for 2 years, and the project's been going on 18 months. But I'm well aware Harry runs a really successful company and a series of companies, and what I bring to the table is very unique to him. And I lean on Harry a bit, and he leans on me, and we've had conversations which have been difficult, but we've always worked through it. And it's not about, it's about what the resolution of that has been like, and it's been amazing. So just being honest with each other. Really everything's on the table. How do we sort that solution out? Yeah.
Now there are some, people in hospitality that have worked in kitchens for all their lives and want to potentially leave the kitchen.
Yep.
And they want to get into, something like pottery or, supplying restaurants, supplying F&B in this hyper niche world, right? It's, even as big as it is so super niche where its requirement is very, very, very selective. What's one piece of advice you'd give to someone who wants to, potentially transition and go into supplying restaurants or still staying in hospitality, but working from the other side of the fence?
I think if you've been in the industry for a long time, just, stay in contact with people. Like I was so lucky when I've just got a beautiful network of friends who I've got a group of high school mates I catch up with, but apart from that, my friends are, the industry, I love the industry. And I think if you've got that trust within the industry and you look after one another, you'll be fine. Like that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
If you go out and they want to be, they want to open a butcher shop or something like that, and you've kept that reputation there and friends, the ecosystem looks after itself. And that's how I feel about it. As long as I'm delivering a beautiful product and it's quality, then this friendship and the ecosystem of hospitality looks after itself. Yeah.
And if you've got someone that's like an introvert,
yep.
There's a lot of introverts in our game. And there are some days where I feel introverted, funny enough. How do you, sort of push that barrier of that comfort zone to grow that friendship, to grow that trust? Because you're a trusted person, man. Like you're very well trusted. Like anyone that I've ever spoken to and I've mentioned your name, like you're at the top of the list.
No, I appreciate it.
So how do you hold that and how do you, sort of communicate to someone, this is how I uphold trust?
I'm probably going to refer to what Harry says to me all the time, and it's a little bit cliche, but he just says, mate, the shit find the shit and the good find the good. And it's so true, like the good people find the good people and the shit people find the shit people. And we're sitting here today because we've got mutual friends and things like that. And I like, that's how I feel about the industry. The good people find the good people. And if they are introverted, they've always been looked after. They're always in the industry and they love it. So yeah. I think the industry looks after itself and looks after the good. Yeah,
100%. I can definitely relate to that. And I think one thing that more than anything, whether you're behind the kitchen, whether you're in front of house, whether you're supplying restaurants, whether you're a providor, whether you sell equipment, whether you do pottery, the biggest thing for a venue is delivering.
Yeah.
You need to be able to hold your word and deliver.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. Because it's like, for example, someone's sitting at a table, they order a steak.
I'm guilty of this. So when I went out on my own, I was so worried about not being busy that I said yes to everyone. And then I must have clocked up hundreds of hours on the wheel trying to deliver, and I let people down. That's why I've capped my studio at a certain number. Right. It's really hard. Yeah, it's a hard thing to do when you first go out.
And you letting people down in the process, what did that do to you in that time frame?
No, I hate it, and it's a bit of a running joke at the moment, to be honest. So yeah. I've got a bit of work to do on that. Yeah, 100%. Like you talk to Jackie or Jason from Stokehouse. Yeah, I'm miles behind on orders. It's not good. You just got to be honest with them and do that. Yeah.
And that's a scary thing. Like obviously when you started out your own business and you got pushing, it's like I need funds to come in.
Yeah.
I need money to come in. Yeah. Right? Let's do this. And
you say yes to everything. Yeah.
Do you regret it?
Yeah, of course. The saying that, bite off more than you can chew and chew like crazy is pretty true, like you got to go flat out. Yeah.
But do you think
would I be where I am if I didn't say...
Exactly.
No, you're right. I picked up some amazing jobs and had to put some other jobs on the back. You always look after an opening. So if I knew a restaurant was opening, it would get pushed ahead of someone else. And I never want to miss an opening. I've never missed an opening. So Josh Niland was a big opening in Singapore for the Edition Hotel. That killed me. So I got that done. There was Curtis Stone's order. Curtis Stone opened up a resort with Louis Vuitton in Mexico. And he came out and saw me. And originally when I caught up with him, he said, Sam, it'll be a couple of 100 pieces, no problem. And he's a mutual friend of Harry's, a good friend of Harry's. And and then it grew to, he came out with his mum, spent the day with me in the studio, designed all his tableware. I sent the samples off, and then he placed an order for 1,250 pieces. And I thought my head was going to explode, and I had to employ a mate to help me out, Eddie, and we got through it, but it was, it was hell. But we supply Louis Vuitton down in Mexico, Yeah.
So it's like, that's where I'm like, you can say yes. You're in business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yes, there is an element of friendship and trust, but at the end of the day, you're running a PTY Ltd. You're not running a non-for-profit organisation.
No. Yeah.
Right, and this is where my ethos of turning passion to profit always comes through, and that's my biggest thing, is that I always try to push this onto anyone that is really passionate about what they do, because I really believe if you can make money out of your passion, you're never working a day in your life.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there's a little bit of stress there, but
there's a bit of stress, but at the end of the day, you love what you do.
No, I couldn't imagine when I left the family business, I was only ever going to be a potter. Like, I didn't know, I was like, give me a block of clay. That's all I wanted to do, and a restaurant to supply. Yeah.
So back on that overcommitment level, and I just want to stress on it because it's something that I can relate to. When you found yourself in that pickle where you weren't able to deliver everything, how did you communicate?
Oh no, you pick up the phone. You got to talk. You just got to call them and apologize.
Yeah, don't avoid them.
No, you can't avoid. You can't hide. You just say I'm so sorry, and sometimes you got to find an alternative to them.
I'll be honest to you. When I was young, when I was like 19, 20, my biggest thing was I would push that call to the last minute, and that was the worst thing.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Like, I knew something wasn't going to get delivered.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe something would change, maybe something would change. I'd always bank myself on a potential. But I actually knew, in hindsight, like in my subconscious, I knew that it's like a 95% chance it's not going to happen. So, but I never had the confidence to make that call. I was always worried that, if I communicated at that early stage, what's going to happen? But at the end of the day, you got to face the music somehow, right?
Yeah. It feels good when you make it, to be honest, and you just get it off your chest. You're like in a confession booth and you just go, mate, I'm so sorry. Let's work through it. And
Yeah, and I think especially on that deliverable, like whether you're in the kitchen and you got a prep list that you couldn't get through, or you're a providor and you're supposed to deliver to a restaurant on a certain time and you miss the delivery, or a certain product is not going to be on that delivery to the restaurant. Don't wait till it gets to the restaurant and the restaurant calls you.
No, you can't do it. Fucking cannot do it. You won't last 5 seconds. Yeah.
Yes, it'll be a heated conversation because we're in an emotional, passionate industry.
Yep.
And people love what they do here, and they've got a lot of, time and stress on the line. Like, the kitchen's a stressful environment. Let's face it. And running a hospitality business is so dynamic. So I feel like if you're able to give them more notice, the most notice you possibly can, you can, at that point, be able to come up with a solution. But if you just hold it and just like let it fizzle out.
Yeah. Oh, I'm guilty of it too. I've done it for sure. And I think the biggest thing changing my business, so I've been out for 2.5 years, but for a year and a half, I've been in business partnership with Harry, working on Vietnam and other things, but also Carrie, my wife, came on board. So she was a primary school teacher for 20 years, quit her job and now helps, now's my business partner as well. And she's like, Sam, get off the fucking couch, go make some pots, go finish the order. And it's been good. It's been that pressure of her there and pushing orders and things like that.
Just keeping you accountable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Jess is on my tail about, did I record that video? And I'm like, I just want to relax. Just fucking post it. You know?
Yeah.
No, I relate with that so much, man. And what do you find now? Like, what's obviously the Vietnam project is underway.
Yep.
What's next for you?
No, I get obsessed by things, and Vietnam for me is an obsession. So getting that off the ground and growing that and marketing that and getting on the ground and retraining, I love it there. Vietnam's an incredible place. Yeah.
Is it in Ho Chi Minh?
Yep, it's now outside of Ho Chi Minh. We've developed our own clay body. It's got alumina in it. It's super strong. It's going to, without being too dramatic about it, it'll change our world of plates. And, as long as we can get a really good distributor on board to take that out to the world, that's what we want. Yeah.
So you're going to find distributors in other countries, or you're going to find a main distributor?
No, we'll find potentially one distributor will do everything, but like someone said to me, you've got the brand, you've got the product, the kingdom is the distribution. So we'll really work now on finding a suitable distributor to get that out to the world. Yeah.
If there's anyone out there, you can reach out to Sam.
Thank you.
Because we're looking for distributors.
Yeah.
And who are you aiming to service or supply?
No, hospo only.
Hospo only.
Yeah. I mean, the people who do it really well is Steelite International, which I've got a relationship with now. I design for those guys. So they're in every country in the world. We'll be presenting to those guys, but no one does it better than those guys. Yeah. Yeah,
Steelite is a quality plate. And, for those that aren't so educated in hospitality or understand plateware or crockery in hospitality, what's the difference of durability of hospitality products versus retail products? Because, there are some cafe owners that go, I'll just buy a $1 plate from Kmart.
Yeah. I've got a funny Kmart story, actually. I was in a pub in Sydney and I went into the dishwashing area because I always check out the dishwashing area. I don't know why, and I always look after a dishy because they can make or break you. Seriously, in my world, if you've got a bad dishy, you smash your place, you're gone, But I went in there was a bucket, they were using Kmart plates, and there was a bucket next to the sink with all chip plates. Every fortnight, that dishy would go back to Kmart, clean them up, put them in a box and say, sorry, these plates didn't work, and then get free plates back. I thought that was the end of the industry. For me, I thought that was it. Because they buy one plate and then for the rest of their life, they get a chip edge warranty on it and they take it back. But it doesn't work like that. People want quality. They want, I was horrified. That was the worst thing I've ever seen. And I had to get the chef to explain it to me twice. I go, what do you mean? He cleans the plates, reboxes them, takes them back and said, sorry, they're chipped. Because Kmart have a chip warranty.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But a bit of self-respect and people, they want, you can eat at McDonald's or you can eat here.
But there is still substance in the plateware. What's the main differences?
So the main difference, you talk about vitrification, which means, so a glass is fully vitrified, it holds water, it doesn't absorb water. And so you want your plateware to be like glass. You want it to not absorb water. So fully vitrified, if it wasn't fully vitrified, it leaks into the plate and over time you get spider lines and it crazes and cracks and it chips really easy. So fully vitrified is a big one. And why a hospitality plate is more than a retail plate is because the energy cost needed to go to the extra temperature to get that fully vitrified. Yeah. Right.
So it could be the exact same material.
It'll look the same. You could have it side by side, look exactly the same. One's fully vitrified, one's not. Wow. It'll last 10 times longer. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's so interesting. And Sammy, if there was one piece of advice you'd tell your younger self right now as a potter in the hospitality industry.
As a potter?
Or someone that services the hospitality industry. What's something that you'd tell your younger self at 19 or 20 after you left uni that you wish you could tell them?
Do less contra in hospital. You make a bit more money. No, it's not that. I wouldn't change a thing, Paulie. It's just being honest and being on the ground. I think that's the most important thing, which I've learned, is just being humble, I'm not a corporate, there's these huge brands now and they're corporate and they've got these amazing hospitality stands and they're great, but I think a chef wants to know a potter how he knows his baker or his butcher. We're not a commodity item. We're like, that's how I want to be known as a potter. I want to know how they look at their, where they get their vegetables from or their butcher, that Sam the potter is how they look at a butcher or something. I'm not a commodity item where you go to Kmart or something, and I'm not an artist, I'm just a potter.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't change a thing, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Besides the contra part.
Besides the contra.
Yeah, because there's a lot of service-based businesses like refrigeration mechanics. There's a lot of guys that are in the game in the service world that would say, don't fix me up the fridge, I'll get a free dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. I know a lot of people that live by that ethos, but I feel like that stagnates your growth.
Yeah.
Do you find that?
Oh, I was so silly. I used to, when contra would come around, I'd discount the product down and then get contra and they'd be charged, you get full whack, I'm just too generous. Sometimes you can be too generous, but that's fine. Yeah. You live and learn. Yeah.
But what would you say about being too generous? We should comment on that. Because that's something that, there's a lot of generous people out there. I
think I can afford to be, I can't afford to be generous, but I I like giving away some things sometimes. You know, you're just a generous person or you're not. But I like to give away some things. Yeah, it's fine. You get it back. Fuck, it's a pot now and again. You know, we're not. Yeah, I enjoy it. You know, and you know who to give it away to and who not to. You know, if I'm supplying a huge restaurant chain, you know, but if I'm supplying an owner-operator, and a chef owner-operator is always close to my heart, all the time. You know, no problem. I'll give something away.
And you said something very important before, which I just want to go back and touch on. You said the dishy is the most person that you... Yeah. Why? Why is the dish man or the dish person...
In my industry as a potter? Yeah, they can kill you. If they're bang, crash, like slamming through stuff, a plate, if it's vitrified or not, is going to break. You know, it's ceramic, it's going to break. So I always look after the dishy. If I go there, there's a nice neat stack and he's, you know, essentially scraping off dishes and putting them away. I love them. Yeah, it's fine.
So how do you look after them?
I give him a pat and I say, thank you, mate. What do you do? I'm just appreciative, thank you. Yeah, that's it. That's all they want.
Is there a way that you train them to like...
Nah, you just know, you know. Yeah. I mean, they're doing a really hard job. You know, you just a bit of love and say thank you.
Thank you. And that's sometimes that's all you need to do, right?
Yeah.
Is show a bit of appreciation.
Yeah.
And I guess if there's one piece of advice you'd give to someone who wants to start their own business, what would it be?
No, firstly, I've never looked at the money. I know that sounds really bad. I look at the industry we're in, and hospo, you can go, there's a lot of levels, you know, and I want to be the best at what I do, you know, always. And everyone wants to do that, like, you know, be the best, but it's just, you know, being appreciative along the way and you know, starting out humble. That's it. Just be humble and don't be scared to start very low. Like, I've had to go back to go forward, you know. I had a wheel in my garage 2 years ago making pots, you know. You got to go back to go forward sometimes. Yep.
Where before you were in like a massive factory?
Of course, you know, 100 staff, you know, buying officers, designers, you know, all that stuff was all there. Whatever I wanted, you know, no problem. A mold maker, a 3D printer, a graphic designer, industrial designer, you know, anything I wanted, you know. So, but now it's not like that at all.
It's you and your humble potter wheel.
Yeah, just go back to I've gone back to the garage with a pottery wheel. I did what my grandfather did and I did what my dad did. You know, I never thought that would happen at the age of 40, but it did. It's been good for me.
That's beautiful. Mate, thank you so much for your time today.
Nah, thank you.
It's been a blessing to be sharing a chat with you in your hometown of Melbourne.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to let you know again that anyone that I've ever come across in the past 10 years has only said great things about you. So I just want you to know that from the horse's mouth, and I now see why.
No, I really appreciate it.
Thank you
so
much.
Paul, and thank you what you do.
Good luck with your new project.
Thank you, man. Thank you.